Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
This hour sponsored by Better. Better picks a daily fantasy sports app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download Better or visit better.app now. BETR. Sign up today. Get your free money and no deposit necessary. Get Better. BETR.
Busy hour coming up here in 15 minutes. Look ahead lines next week. Week 7 already in the National Football League. Steve Wyss on the program. Lower leagues in soccer, his best bets. And we begin the hour talking college football. John Talty joins the program. Does a great job covering the sport for CBS Sports. And he is hooked up with us here on the Progressive Guest Line. John, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Good. Appreciate you guys having me on.
You bet. Overall, just like your reaction initially yesterday to the news and the overall mess between Bill Belichick and what has gone on and is going on currently at the North Carolina program.
Yeah, it just feels like a soap opera at this point. There's a new storyline every day. I mean, just in the last 2 weeks or so, it seems like there's something that pops up every day. And I was thinking yesterday because I was at UNC's first game, and I remember walking around campus talking to fans and also like some of their big time boosters, and the level of excitement was off the charts. And there was this like, finally we have a real coach. Finally, we're going to get over the hump and be more than just a basketball school. And I thought about those people yesterday and how much of a mess this has turned out to be. I think certainly there's a lot of smoke around the situation. Talked to somebody pretty close to the program yesterday who said, listen, like, we hear all the stuff that's happening outside. It's still status quo inside here. Bill's not looking for an exit strategy. We're making calls right now to recruits to try to, calm the waters. But there's a lot of industry discussion about that this is not going well and that, it's not going to probably last. He signed a 5-year deal. I think it's guaranteed for 3. I don't think anybody expects him to get to anywhere close to that at this current rate. And it's just in so many ways been a disaster from, they think they're hiring the greatest coach of all time. And instead, it's just been a mess in almost every way.
Yes, you're right about it. Something new every day. And they've been in the news for all the wrong reasons. How about they could see it as, let's just get out from under this. Whether the reports are true that he approached them, but they could just say, come to an agreement. We don't want to give you $10 million a year for 3 years, and how high the embarrassment factor is, and we can just walk away from this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that certainly there are people who I think that would be appealed to. The big question is Bill Belichick one of them, right? And I think what part of the challenge is going to be about any sort of negotiated deal, if that's the door they decide to go through, is that what real career prospects does Bill Belichick have right now? He's not going to the NFL. That was made clear to him a year ago. It's why he's in college to begin with. There's not NFL interest in him. And after the absolute mess that this has been at UNC, what college program is hiring right now? The answer is none. So can he pick up some media gigs? Sure. I mean, he did it a year ago. He did a bunch. I'm sure he can make some money doing that. But is he going to make $20 million worth, which is what they'll owe him past this year? I don't see it. So you might see a bit of a standoff here where, if he could jump to another job, it's a little bit easier to agree to a deal where everybody gets something out of it. But it's hard for me to see him wanting to walk away from considerable money, knowing that this is the twilight of his career. I don't see there being another major coaching position for him. So that's something that I think he has to consider. But, there's what we also have to remember is that the athletic director did not want to hire Bill Belichick. This was a trustee chancellor level thing. And so those are, important people in these kind of deals. And do those people have the humility to admit, yeah, we just really messed this one up and we should have agreed and listened to our AD? Maybe, but those people also tend to have high opinions of themselves. And so I don't know if they'll quite be the ability to walk away less than a year into this thing.
Well, how about this angle too? When you talk about the kids playing for Belichick with the program, and it was a bizarre scheduling stretch right now because they had the bye week to get ready for Clemson. That game was over with in the first quarter or the first half. Now they have another bye week, but then they have to pick it up and fly across country to play a pretty good Cal team. Will they even care to play for him for the final, 7 regular season games of the year?
That's the big question, I think, at this point, and that's when things can really turn on their head. I mean, they looked awful against every Power 4 team they've played this season. I mean, just call it what it is. And I think there were talent concerns coming into the season with that roster, but certainly there are coaching issues as well. I mean, they're just getting embarrassed on the field and, off the field with all these negative headlines. And so, Cal's a pretty good team, as you mentioned. Like, they've got a good young quarterback, Justin Wilcox, defensive guy. They've typically had pretty good defenses. It's a tough, cross-country trip. Friday night, I think, is when that game is. And so it's a tricky one to have to manage. And, what we've seen is that they have not looked good, even when they should have every reason to be trying their best. So now, after all of this drama and speculation, does he still have the pulse of the locker room? Can he still get those guys to play for him? I think it's an open question right now. And certainly I can tell you from talking to different agents of players, there are already guys that are expecting to hit the portal here in a couple months. So when you're already hearing that of guys kind of planning that next step for their careers, you wonder how locked in guys are to this season, knowing it's been such a disappointment and it might get worse from here on out.
Excellent breakdown.
Yeah, well said.
Very good. So Bama plays Missouri. Great turnaround by DeBoer since the loss to Florida State. No shame in losing to the Seminoles. Good team, but how it happened and getting blown out and the issues on the ground. Simpson's been excellent. Are you buying Missouri here at home and Alabama only a 2.5-point favorite?
Yeah, I'm calling this the contender or pretender game, because both these teams, in theory, are playoff contenders. In theory, they're both SEC title contenders. And I think we'll find out a lot more about both of them after this game. I mean, Missouri has potentially the best running back in the country right now. They rank very highly in all the kind of nerd stats that you might like. But they've also they just don't win games like this typically. I don't think they've won a game at home against a top 10 opponent in 50 plus years at this point. So you've got some of that history going against them. And then, Bama's on a roll right now. They looked awful against Florida State, but they rebounded in a way that I think says something about them. They've been resilient. They looked very good coming off the bye and being able to beat Georgia the way they did. And this is the next, I think, real test for them. Can you go on the road, early game start? It's gotten buzz maybe more than it typically would, but it's not LSU. It's not Tennessee. It's not these kind of typical rivalry games that your guys are going to get up for. It's a real question. And I think it's been the biggest question of the DeBoer era, is how he can get his guys up for games on the road. You look at all the games they've lost, Florida State, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, they're all on the road. And so anytime they leave Tuscaloosa, you always worry a bit about them. They passed that first test against Georgia and Athens a couple weeks ago, but I'm still curious to see how they show up against Missouri. And, Drinkwitz, I think, is a good coach. I'm sure he'll have some things dialed up early on, but I still overall like Bama in that game, but I'm a little nervous just kind of laying out all the things I just did.
Fair enough. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, John Talty, he covers college football for CBS Sports. He's on the Progressive Guest Line. Final game here for you, John, and that is, I'm looking right now, 35 minutes ago, looks like John Mateer deemed questionable officially for the game this weekend against Texas. In the summer, Texas was a 10-point favorite. As we are sitting here right now, they are a 1-point favorite. Your thoughts on that number, and is there any chance Mateer actually plays in this game?
I think there is a chance that John Mateer plays in this game. There's been optimism emanating out of the Oklahoma program, publicly, but also behind the scenes. But there's a couple things that I do wonder, and you guys are really the experts in this area. That number feels a little off to me. Again, just what we've seen from Texas, what we've seen from Oklahoma, you would think if the smart guys like you out in Vegas think that Mateer's playing, that number would be flipped, and Oklahoma might be a couple-point favorite. That's just what I think from my outside perspective on things. But there certainly is a chance, I think a decent chance that he plays in this game. And the other thing that we do have to remember, and I was talking to someone about this the other day, like it does benefit Oklahoma in this current moment for there to be questions around it. Both, whether he plays or doesn't, Texas has to now prepare for two guys potentially playing. And so that I think is a benefit to Oklahoma. That's why they don't mind the fact that this is dragging out and it's going to continue to drag out. My expectation is that Mateer will try to go, and it might be a true game time. Let's see how things look. And, we find out maybe an hour or so before kickoff that, hey, here's who the guy who's actually going to be, whether it's Mateer or Michael Hawkins. But I think it is going to kind of come down to the wire, in part just to make Texas have to prepare for both potential options.
That makes a lot of sense. You can follow John on X at @JTalty. He does a great job covering college football for CBS Sports. John, great spot as always. Thanks for the time. We appreciate that.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see how the players are going to respond for Belichick.
Yeah.
Next Friday night.
Those two angles I forgot to mention, and he's right. The embarrassment factor with the people with the money, that this is a debacle and an embarrassment, and then they went behind the AD's back and got this deal done, and how he felt about it, because that was a interesting press conference when he was introduced.
Sure. And again, with this new world that we've had in college football, college sports for the last couple of years, they could all be like, I'm out of this program at the end of the year anyway. I don't care at all for this dude anymore. We'll get into look-ahead lines for Week 7 already in the National Football League coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Did you know your credit card points and miles can lose value to inflation? Credit card companies often reduce the redemption value of your points and miles. Now, imagine a credit card with rewards that can grow in value. With the Gemini credit card, you can earn Bitcoin or one of over 50 other cryptos instantly with no annual fee. Every swipe at the store or gas pump earns you instant rewards deposited straight to your account. Plus, sign up now for a $200 Bitcoin bonus to kickstart your rewards. Visit Gemini.com/card today. Check out the link in the description for more information on rates and fees. Again, if you're looking to invest in Bitcoin but don't know where to start, the Gemini credit card makes it easy.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome aboard. Good to have you here. Thanks for watching today on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM channel 158, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, or any of our great affiliates from coast to coast. Coming up in 15 minutes, we are going to go with some deep cuts, man, this week in soccer. There's no prim.
Yeah.
But we asked our buddy, the meat man, Steve Wyss, do you like anything? And he's like, oh, yes, I do. Wait until you hear some of the matches that he's going to have recommend bets on this weekend.
I love talking to him, too. About, why about this? This team's awful. Oh, wait a second. Managerial change again. They're so good. A week from tonight, Steelers at Bengals. Down the street, Steelers open 3.5. They're 4.5 at DraftKings. 43.5 the total. I'm intrigued. Flacco again. Short turnaround. He gets the Steelers.
What do you make of that total, 43.5?
It's a tough call. Because how bad does that Week 1 performance look now? They couldn't stop the Jets. They couldn't slow down Seattle either.
I think that's too low of a number. I think there's an angle here where, like the Cincinnati Bengals offense actually puts up some points. We saw it last week late against the Lions, but their defense is going to have no solution for any of these teams.
Right. Good win against the Vikings. But again, you're talking about the issues they have at quarterback. And Cincinnati gave them the game the prior week with all the turnovers. And then New England beat themselves in the game as well.
Yeah, I'm seeing as low as 42.5 there.
It's typical Pittsburgh. They're going to somehow go 9-8 and get in the playoffs and lose.
Or better, yeah.
We go to London again. Sexy game. Rams 3.5 against Jacksonville. 47.5. Ooh. Boy, the big opportunity here for the Rams. But because of the bad losses, though, and blowing the Philly game and the Niner game, it's a tough one. They could lose this, too.
Well, the Jags are off of, think about the schedule here. Played on Monday night against the Chiefs. Won a game that was a total coin flip down to the wire. Now they get a very good Seattle team this week. That's at home. And then they have to go across the country to play another really good team, not across the country, across the pond,
right,
and take on, one of the better teams in the league yet again.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a great job navigating it to this point, but...
I don't like the spot. Well, they finally got a good game over there. It's about time. Boy, this is a lot. Eagles 2.5 at Minnesota, 42.5. They can't beat the Vikings?
Vikings will be off the bye.
Yeah.
Eagles will have extended rest as they play tonight.
They were fortunate to beat Cleveland. I did not like what I watched with the offense.
Well, the Eagles could be, 1-4?
No, fair. Absolutely. Outgained in every game. Incredible. No doubt.
I firmly believe the Eagles are going to get better. I just don't know when.
This is the big chance here. Giants, Vikings, Giants. Got to go 3-0. Chiefs 10.5 at home against the Raiders. 45.5.
Well, that number has ballooned up in recent weeks, I'm guessing. Now that we have more data points here on the Raiders.
Yeah, I'd also like to see what happens Sunday. Can you win and cover against Tennessee?
Yeah, Chiefs have also had some barn murders against this Raiders team when they've been
True.
really, really bad here in recent years.
The Vrabel Bowl. New England 6 at Tennessee. 43.5. Oh, Vrabel wants us in the worst way. Stick it to him. Great coach. Had him in the playoffs every year. 1 seed, 1 season.
I think you can circle, this is one of at least a couple of games that you're going to circle for Survivor. I bet you people will be on the Patriots.
Uh-huh. All right. Browns favored at home to Miami. 2.5, 41.5.
Browns have to be favored here.
Too high total, though. The high total's too high. Tua is banged up. He's supposed to play, though, Sunday against the Chargers.
I think that 2.5 is too low.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I like what I watched in the London game where we were on the air.
That's not going to go well for the Dolphins offense.
Okay. Probably right. Yep. Bears 6 at home to the Saints. 45.5.
Well, there's one of your big boys in Survivor next week.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, the Bears will be coming off a Monday night spot this week on the road against Washington. Short rest for them. Saints feisty, man. Is that too big of a number, though?
I don't think so. I trust the Bears here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This I can't believe. Look this up. Let's assume the Jets lose 0-6. They're favored at home against Carolina. But again, Bryce Young is 1-16 on the road. Jets 2.5, 45.5. 0-6 favored.
For those who tease, would you consider Carolina up to 8.5?
Yeah.
The total's mid-40s there, so it's not super low, but
I'd like the over.
if you tease the Panthers here on the road, that means the Jets are going to have to beat you by basically 10 points.
Yeah. Damn, what? Jeez. That's bulletin board material for Carolina. What? We're underdogs? They're 0-6? This won't go well for Dart. Denver 7.5 at home. 41.5.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a long day for him passing.
Yep. Chargers 1.5. Colts go back out to L.A. again. 47.5. They got to get right. I know with all these injuries, but they got to beat Miami. First things first Sunday.
Well, that's the thing.
This could go sideways in a hurry.
So now the Chargers are, after playing Washington and losing and having more injuries, flying across the country, they fly all the way back, and the Colts are a pretty damn good football team.
Yep.
Some power ratings are, that I've seen anyway, very close to the top 5 in the league right now.
Good game. I don't get this. No respect for Washington. Doesn't look good for McLaurin Monday night. Didn't practice again.
Right.
But 2.5 at Dallas. 53.5 the total.
What don't you get?
I think their power rating is too low. I think the line should be higher. I like this team when they're healthy, or at least when you have Daniels in there. And I love the coaching staff. And I think the defense has improved.
You know who's playing really good football?
Oh, Dak.
Dak Prescott.
Yes, he is.
Playing outstanding football.
Yep. Will it continue? Though?
I don't think you can make the Commanders 3.
Okay.
I think everybody I think a lot of sharp money would be on the Cowboys there.
All right. Packers 5.5 at Arizona. I'm got to be concerned with what's going on now in Arizona. Are they mad at Gannon? Could he get fired? How he handled it? How they imploded. Horrific loss. Now they go to Indy. Indy's up to 7.5.
Well, where's the mentality of the team?
I know it's got to be all-time low.
Right, and you figure, they're not. Now the number this week against the Colts, Indy figures to, if they show up and bring their A game again, they'll beat Arizona probably. And then they have to go back home and take on a Packers team that, they're laying 14.5 to the Bengals this week.
Yeah. Getting people back, though. Let's get the offense fixed. Let's take some shots to Watson. Let's make it look better offensively.
I think,
that
again,
Cleveland game was ridiculous.
Just, top of my head here, talking about these games, I think that's going to be a long day for Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm. This is a good game. Sunday night, Niners 4.5 at home to Atlanta. Huge game. Because the Niners could be coming off a loss against Tampa. And we see if Atlanta belongs in the playoffs.
That's a Sunday nighter?
That's a Sunday night game.
I see them as high as 5.
Okay.
I don't know what to make of that game, though. Because, again, Atlanta is one of the trickiest teams, and we'll know more now, but, again, trying to find something here in the look ahead. I want to like Atlanta, but they have been maybe the weirdest team in the NFL so far to me.
Uh-huh.
And Shanahan
I know. Especially on the road. The Carolina loss, my God.
Yeah, true.
Again, back-to-back Monday night doubleheaders. I believe it's the final one of the season. Extra pizza and meatballs, please. It's hopefully we don't have a scheduling snafu here. That's assuming the Mariners can win tomorrow. Game 1, 4 o'clock Pacific. Detroit 4.5, 53.5 against Tampa.
Oh, man.
What a game. What a game for props, too.
I know.
Every time they get together, it's a high-scoring affair.
I know. So my gut here says I'm going to like Detroit at 4.5. But remember what happened last year when they played? They took me out in Survivor early on in the year. When
Total fluke game, yeah.
Oh, Tampa Bay.
Fluke game.
They were outgained like 416 to 200 or something like that, and they won the game. And the Lions they gave it away like 10 different times. So they outplayed them.
Yep.
But, I mean, I'm buying into this whole Lions best power-rated team, highest power-rated team in the league at this point.
Okay.
And can the Buccaneers do this every week?
No kidding. You imagine if they can win these next 2 games?
Well,
I mean, what does Bowles go to coach of the year? Mayfield then,
Mayfield, even money then.
7 o'clock Pacific. Game 2. Seattle 2.5 against Houston, 42.5.
Oh, man, I love that game.
Ooh.
Under.
Oh, yeah.
I have to think under here. And what if Darnold looks awesome against this defense? He's playing, dude, he's been lights out pretty much the entire year.
Do you give Seattle a break here? Tampa, Jacksonville, Houston? Tough.
East Coast, back home, East Coast again.
Think sports, time to get paid for it. Better Picks, the daily fantasy app, where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download the Better app, pick more or less on your favorite player stats, and if your pick hits, you win. New users get free money just for signing up. No deposit required, and when you make a deposit, you can earn up to $200 in bonuses. NBA right around the corner. NHL just started. UFC, soccer, and more. Head to better.app, BETR, or download Better in the app or Google Play Store and use promo code VEASAN for your free money and deposit bonus today. Get up to $200 and do it now at Better. Better Picks. Do it now. Better. BETR.
I will say Buccaneers at Lions, Texans at Seahawks next Monday night is pretty much as good as it gets for a Monday night doubleheader that the league has ever put on.
That is strong.
You want to talk about some deep diving up next. That's exactly what we're going to do. The meat man, Steve Wyss, is going to join us. He's got some incredible breakdowns with lower league soccer matches this weekend coming up next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll get into the Dodgers-Phillies game number 4. I have a couple of bets on the game. That's starting in just over 30 minutes from right now. But as we speak, we head out to the Progressive Guest Line as Steve Wyss joins the program. You can follow him on X. He's at MeatmanSoccer. He's with Because We Win and the Nordic Football Podcast as well. So there's no Prim this week. And we asked Meatman if he's got any bets, breakdowns, analysis of some of these lower league games, and he said absolutely. And I look forward to this stuff, I think, more than the Prim, as I was telling Steve during the break. And I can't wait for the breakdown on Kazakhstan as they play in an international match tomorrow. That's coming up in a few minutes, Steve. But as always, thanks for the time, Meatman. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, thanks, guys. I hope you're well. And, it's the international soccer break around the world, which means there's less high-profile games on. But there's always money to be made, and it's a great chance to give a few more breakdowns on the lower league English plays this week, plus a couple of tidbits in the international soccer.
Well said. All tickets cash the same. We'll begin in League One on Saturday. Stockport takes on Blackpool. Who do you like in this match?
Stockport on the money line, minus 137. I've used them before on this show, and they've often delivered for me. Solid sort of team, only lost one match at home this season. A few too many draws for their liking, but this is a brilliant matchup because Blackpool are in an absolute mess right now. They have lost all 5 away games this season. They've only scored 1 goal and conceded nine goals in their away games, so they're terrible travellers. They've also sacked their manager this week. Steve Bruce has been relieved of his duties, but the problem is they haven't appointed anyone new yet. So I'm always a bit wary and my guard is up when a new manager takes over, but they haven't got one yet. So I think it's a great chance for Stockport to take advantage of Blackpool's problems. And you cannot argue with the stats with Blackpool, especially away from home. Stockport historically very strong at home. 1 loss here, minus 137. You could argue it almost looks a bit of a gift, really. Straight money line home win.
Excellent breakdown. Love it. Phenomenal. How about Northampton? It's also sticking with League One.
Yeah, Rotherham. I gave them out at the start of the season on this show.
You did.
Plus 400 to be relegated. And I'm getting a bit excited about it because they are struggling mightily. They may well be managerless soon if they keep losing games because they're second bottom of the table. Another team yet to pick up a point away from home. And they face this Northampton team who metrically, if you like unders, then Northampton's your team. 9 out of 10 matches under 2.5 goals. And that is probably another very, very good bet for this game at minus 137. But Northampton money line looks way too big at plus 110. This is a team that is so tight defensively. If they score 1 goal in the game, it's probably going to be enough to beat this really poor Rotherham side who are not travelling well, who I said at the start of the season are going to have a bad year. So it's no surprise to me to see them in this position. And the only real surprise are the odds here. Plus 110 on the money line. This should be minus 150. So you're looking at 1-0 and 2-0 correct score as well for those who like to bet on the correct score betting because it's very, very likely. Yep.
Some dreadful clubs here. I'm also surprised at the price. You're right. Peterborough, bottom of the table. They've been awful. We discussed that as well. Nigel had a great tweet last year. He was at a League Two match, and he was in, quote, the VIP area, and it was under a tent and a picnic table with a sausage sandwich. A little bit different from the Prim. But you've been all over Chesterfield here. And you've had some nice winners in League Two with Chesterfield, top 10 in the table. What do you think of the Chesterfield match?
I think this could be one of the best games of the weekend, actually, in England lower leagues for entertainment and goals because we've got Salford, they are well backed financially off the field and they're desperate to get promotion. And they're kind of basing their strategy on just scoring a lot of goals. 17 goals they've scored this season. Their underlying metrics say that they've got the best expected goals of any team in the league. So we know they've got some heavy hitting. Their problem is defensively for Salford. They don't keep enough clean sheets. No clean sheet in the last 7 for them. And Chesterfield had a good start to the season, but they're starting to concede a lot of goals. 10 goals conceded in their last 4 games. 7 of their last 9 matches have gone over 2.5 goals. They lost 6-2 last week. But I do actually still rate Chesterfield as an offensive force. This is just one of those games where it's going to be a shootout. Whoever scores the most is going to get the result. This could be 3-2 or even 4-3 to someone. I've no idea who's going to win, but I am pretty sure there's going to be goals. So minus 137 looks very, very good for over 2.5 goals here, guys.
All right. What do you want to do? You have some interesting information here with Kazakhstan and who their opponent is.
Well, this is kind of bonkers, really, guys. But, I've got a bet here. Kazakhstan minus 2.25 Asian handicap. Against Liechtenstein, this kicks off at, I think, 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. This is, for a start, this is a 4,000-mile trip for Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein are genuinely one of the worst teams in world soccer. Only 6 teams are ranked worse than them. The likes of Bahamas and the British Virgin Islands and San Marino, of course. San Marino, the worst ranked side in world soccer. They lost 10-0 today, San Marino, against Austria. I can tell you now, Liechtenstein lost to San Marino last year by 3-1. That's how bad Liechtenstein are. They are terrible. They are one of the worst teams that I've ever seen. And, they've lost their last 8 games by 2 or more goals. They haven't scored in the last 8 matches. They're terrible. And Kazakhstan won the reverse fixture 2-0. Kazakhstan are not a great side, but home advantage is going to be really big. One of the teams from Kazakhstan did qualify for the Champions League this year in Europe. So you could argue their league is actually improving. And as a bare minimum, Kazakhstan should be winning the game by 2 goals. But this could probably be like 4 or 5, really, because Liechtenstein, like I say, are truly one of the worst sides in the world. 204th ranked soccer side in world FIFA rankings.
All right. So when I'm searching for this match on different apps, can you walk us through that briefly? Like, what do we need to look for to click on like that? You know, it's an international qualifier here. So what are we clicking on here to find it?
World Cup qualifying Europe. And then you're looking at the game spread. And you're looking at minus 2.25. If you can't get on that, just take minus 2.5. Because I think they win this probably by 3 or 4, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, I found it under UEFA.
I'm
sorry, I found it under UEFA World Cup qualifying. There you go. Yep.
That's the one, yeah.
Exactly beautiful. That. Okay.
All right. Also, same thing, Wales?
Yeah, this is a Monday game, actually. One of the most high-profile fixtures. And I think there's going to be a lot of goals here. Over 2.5 goals looks really generously priced up at minus 120. I mean, I've just seen Wales this evening play against England. England beat them 3-0, and it was 3-0 after 25 minutes, and then it became a bit of a non-event, really. Wales they are an improved nation, and they've got a decent manager, Craig Bellamy, who is pretty attack-minded. He says he's going to go for the win here against Belgium. They have a chance of qualifying for the World Cup, Wales, which would be a brilliant achievement for them. But they're not going to do it unless they beat Belgium, so they've got to be gung-ho attacking. They can't settle for a draw. The previous meeting ended a barnstorming 4-3 win for Belgium. It was one of the best matches of international games I've seen probably in the last calendar year, where Wales actually came from 3-0 down to draw, and then they conceded late. Belgium have just won their last 2 matches 6-0. They're playing tomorrow, actually, against North Macedonia. But, I mean, this Belgium side are capable of covering the goal line all by themselves. But I think we could get a very similar type of match to the reverse meeting, which was that 4-3 result, like I said. And this looks a really good goals bet for Monday. So plenty of bets over the whole weekend in this international window.
Great job, my man.
Very good.
Can't wait to talk to you next week. Excellent breakdown. Good luck. Stay hot.
Thanks so much. Take care, guys. See you next week.
The Meat Man, the Butcher, on a Progressive guest line. Meat Man Soccer on X. Those are they change managers like we change socks over here. You have a 3-game losing streak, and that's it. Breaking news: LeBron James, yet to participate in training camp, is out 3 to 4 weeks. Sciatica on his right side. Nerve irritation in his glute. How long could he be out? J.J. Redick, he's on his own timetable.
That's probably going to be the answer for everything with LeBron moving forward for the rest of his career.
Yep. They play the Warriors opening night, second game of the doubleheader on NBC, October 21st. Yeah, he was supposed to come back after not playing in the preseason. Now he's out 3 to 4. That's tough.
Are you more inclined to bet Luka to lead the league in scoring now?
Yeah.
Or do you want to wait
Pretty
till
good.
after the Warriors game because they're on paper again going to be like really, really good defensively? And like who else can beat the Lake? Who else can beat you really right now? Reeves can. He's good.
Yeah.
But it's not like the Lakers are this super deep team where they can have like 5 different guys beat you every single night.
They had that good run, though, when LeBron and Luka weren't there and Reeves was carrying them. But I think he's on a mission, yeah. Dropping all the weight, getting ripped. Good off-season program. I think he has a huge year. That is painful, too. Goes right down your legs.
You've had that, yeah?
Oh, does that hurt? Pain in the ass.
What do you do to like treat it?
I just have to go massages like 3 times a week, and you got to get it. This one gal was excellent. Just got to get in there and
he's
comes
got
down your legs.
Think
and
about
she
this.
does a great job.
LeBron will have the best people in the world to treat this at his becking call, right? And so he's still going to miss 3 to 4 weeks as a result of it, minimum.
Yeah, that's surprising. Tough. Damn.
Did he have too much Hennessy? Fall down, hurt himself?
I'm glad people were bothered by that. I couldn't believe it.
The decision part 2.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. All right, man. We have a huge game coming up in Los Angeles, right around the corner. I have a couple of bets on it. We'll break it down coming up next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Huge baseball game coming up in about, what do we have here, 23 minutes?
Yep.
For those of you watching and listening live, Game 4 in L.A., Dodgers-Phillies day game on the West Coast, night game at Wrigley. Interesting. And Adam Burke will join us. I know he has a bet on this game tonight, and he and I are on the same page here. I split Pauly 1 unit, half unit Phillies for first 5 and Phillies for the game.
Wow.
Sanchez was really good in game 1.
Yep.
They blew the game. Now he's coming back again tonight. I completely trust him. And Glasnow has pitched 1 2/3 innings since his final regular season appearance back on September 27th. So if you go back to the 20th of September, he has faced 21 batters. That's it. And his walk rate, highest it's been at 11% since 2018. If he's going to put guys on base against this lineup, eventually the sticks are going to come alive. They did last night. Now, will that continue? I don't know. I think the Phillies could win a 2-1 game because Sanchez is so good.
That was strange last night. And it's funny how things change in baseball, where could this team run the table? They're so good. It's not fair. And then all of a sudden, just like that, a couple hits, and it's 3-1 Phillies. Yamamoto had 1 bad inning. And then I just don't understand, like you treat this like it's a game in April. Hey, he's our guy. He's been here forever. How about a round of applause for Kershaw? It's still 3-1 in the 8th inning. You can win this game. And you know it was going to happen. And then there was ball game, and they rough him up. And as Mookie Betts said afterwards, that was tough to watch.
It certainly was.
That's certainly his legacy. Best regular season pitcher I've ever seen, and can't count on him in October. And Roberts, now it's like, what, your hands were tied? Now Tanner Scott's out? Well, I didn't want to use some of the other guys. And it's other guys come with, like, rules. Like you can't use me on back-to-back days. And I can't. It's like, what are we doing? Come on. It's the playoffs. So their bullpen has an ERA of 7 now in the playoffs. And they've allowed 15 runs from the 7th inning on. Glasnow has bad postseason numbers. 0-4 with an ERA of 5. With the time off, you're right. He was erratic with the control the last couple times out. You would think Roberts has something up his sleeve because you don't want to go back to Philly. Would you do something with Ohtani? Would you get creative with who you can bring out? Now without Scott, what you're going to do? Was it more Sasaki? If you can, but what's not to like with Sanchez? You're right. I played his outs prop over 16.5. As the Phillies said, we're taxed with our bullpen, and we don't like the guys anyways.
Sure.
But it's got to be 7 strong from this guy tonight, and then we can get multiple innings out of Duran. So 179 last 7. He's been great. He should go at least 7 over his outs prop as well. And all of a sudden, this thing has got intrigue and juice, where the Dodgers could lose this series. And then the whole thing becomes wide open. Is Ohtani going to do anything?
I don't know.
We ripped Judge, and rightfully so. We've been doing it for years. He delivered. He was awesome in the playoffs. Ohtani is 1 for 14 so far.
He's been terrible. He's been unplayable at the plate.
1 of 12 against lefties. 7 strikeouts.
How about you don't strike out, pal?
I know. Put the ball in play. Yeah. Terrible.
Frustrating to watch him at the dish. Now, he was great pitching in game 1, but other than that, he has not delivered whatsoever.
Yeah, he had the golden sombrero in that game.
Yeah, that he did. Yeah. So more on the bullpen like you talked about. They've allowed 23 runs in the postseason.
Yeah.
15 in the 7th inning or later. And Yamamoto just didn't have it last night. But
he looked great. But all of a sudden, it can just flip. Base hit, base. I mean, that got nuts in play just like that.
And by the way, it could flip again today. Again, there's for anybody betting on momentum, we saw that in almost every single case last night. It meant absolutely nothing in all 4 of those games. And Ohtani, not only 1 of 14 so far in the series, 7 strikeouts. In his career against Sanchez, 4 of 19, 0 extra base hits, and 9 Ks. I trust Sanchez. I don't know what we're going to get at Glasnow, so that's why I did Phillies plus 110 first 5, plus 120 for the game.
Did you watch the post game last night after the Yankees lost?
Well,
Or did you?
I love what Vladdy did. Oh, that game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was watching the post game of that game when Vladdy goes, "Hey, the Yankees lose," and then he and Ortiz did it like 6 times in a row, right to rub it in A-Rod's and Jeter's faces. Yeah, it was great.
I think those guys do a pretty good job, and that's a lot of star power there. But I did like what A-Rod said. I don't want to hear about average doesn't matter and all this, because he said he had good numbers about what, Toronto doesn't strike out. They put the ball in play.
Yeah.
Toronto's 4 wins away from going to the World Series. And in this postseason, 38% of all runs have come via the long ball, lowest since 2014. So put hits together. You don't have to play the long ball game. Didn't work out for the Yankees last night. And I thought it was a good rant from A-Rod afterwards. And that's why I think that the case could be made that Milwaukee Brewers could meet the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series.
Yeah, they could.
And that could happen just because Toronto does this, doesn't beat themselves. So many guys that can hit, so many tough outs, and they don't give away at bats. But the Brewers have got to survive this first inning here. And you got Freddie going. You got to like their chances tonight against Boyd. Again, the incredible road record, but should get out of that first inning. Cubs got 2 in the second against the Padres. They scored 1 in the first of game 1, 3 in the first of game 2, 4 yesterday, and did nothing the rest of the way. The Milwaukee bullpen's been lights out.
Sure.
But just survived that first inning, and here you're set up beautifully now. Where I was surprised it turned into a 4-3 game after what we see transpired in the first inning. But you got your ace going. You can have Miz behind him. You can close this out today and beat the Cubbies and move on to the NLCS.
Yeah, think about this. 18 of Chicago's 29 runs have been scored in the first inning.
Yeah, there's 18 first-inning runs in the series.
That's
nuts.
Milwaukee has outscored the Cubs 9-2 after the first. Cubs hitters are 12 of 80. That's 150, 26 Ks after the first inning. And the Brewers relievers, 18 innings pitched so far in 3 games, 8 hits allowed, 1 run, 19 Ks. That tells you how dominant they've been.
Mm-hmm.
But Peralta has been the man this year. And Ian Happ in his career, 3 of 35, 15 Ks. Nico Horner, 5 of 31, 7 Ks. Suzuki, 3 of 26, 14 Ks. Swanson, 2 of 23, 10 Ks overall. If you can find hitter strikeouts, that might be one angle here with the Cubs, and I think at least a couple of books will offer that.
What happens with Boyd? He was terrible in game 1 and shouldn't have started. The other thing is the bad injury to Horton. About the timing there.
Sure.
I mean, your Cubbies lose their ace. But I don't know what you're going to get out of Boyd. And at least they closed the game strong yesterday. But his outs prop is 9.5. But if you're the best team, and you showed it all year, you win this game. You don't mess around. You were 9 games over 500 on the road. The run differential, the record, although head-to-head this year it's 8-8. But I guess it's the same thing with the Dodgers. You don't allow this to go back to Philadelphia if you're the favorites and what they're at. It's still not a lot of respect for the Blue Jays.
You imagine if we get a Tigers-Cubs World Series?
Oh, no, don't say that.
That happened?
Oh, man.
Like, I'm all for parity and the little guy. I say little guy. Detroit and Chicago involved. But that'd be a tough one. With all these great teams still remaining, I just don't think the Cubs are very good.
The Tigers aren't either.
I think they have good individual talent, like on offense, but the pitching again overall with not there.
Come on. Look at the pitching stuff.
Yeah, and then outside of Skubal with the Tigers.
Yep.
I don't know. All these other potential matchups would be so good.
Can they do it? Can they get Skubal again? He's 0-2 with a 4.58 against them this year.
Yeah, why not?
Up to $1.45. God.
Yeah, didn't you think that he was going to take money in the game?
This would be brutal. You haven't made the ALCS since 2001. You were so good down the stretch. You have home field, the horrible thing with Wu, and you can't win this series? And then the same thing with the Brewers. The Brewers can't get by here? Best record, great offense.
Well,
Club them in the first 2 games if you can't win a series?
I would say that if they don't get the win tonight, then it's absolute. Again, there's no momentum, but it's squeaky bum time for the Brewers. And these previous teams have nothing to do with it. I get that. But it's like, as a kid who grew up going to County Stadium and watching their games, it's like it would scare me to death. They have lost 4 straight potential clinching games dating back to Game 7, 2018 NLCS against the Dodgers.
Oh, no. No good.
That was the year that Yelich won the MVP.
Schwarber did it yesterday. Longest home run. Ohtani plus 350. Can you put the ball in play?
I have that's the biggest question of the game, I think.
Schwarber plus 450. Hernandez 16-1. Chirio 16-1. Suzuki 20. Harper 20. Mookie 20. Contreras 25. That's a fun prop. Tough. They're going to be lubed up, ready to go. 8:15 first pitch. Start getting paid for better picks. If you know sports, a daily fantasy sports app where your sports solids turns into cash. Sign up today, get free money and no deposit needed. And when you do deposit, you earn up to $200 in bonuses. Better's giving you $40 for every friend you bring in. Download Better in the app or Google Play Store. Head to better.app. Promo code VSiN for your free money and deposit bonus. BETR.app. Get that bonus $200 at Better. Become better and get better at the fantasy sports app. Better picks.
A couple of players for the longest home run tonight. Teoscar Hernandez,
Like it?
2 home runs in his career off Sanchez.
Yeah.
And what about William Contreras?
20-25, yeah.
Okay.
Did it in the first game. Yes.
Up next, we'll expand on what feels to be a really good spot for this team tonight.